It is a harsh reality that in today's world, crime is an ever-persistent threat. Everything from white-collar financial scams to violence and murder. It's an aspect of society that we have to live with. There's no doubt that studying stories revolving around crime leads to popular forms of media and entertainment.
And what could make those compelling narratives even more engaging and thrilling? When the stories are actually true. We are so happy to welcome back to Historic Studio D, Jerry Lyons. He is an author and private investigator. Jerry, thanks for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me.
This afternoon.
Thanks for having me.
For those who may not know, we've had you on the show before, but I want to get a little background on you first. Tell us about some of your professional background.
Well, I started out as a cop in New York City, became a detective, retired, and then I did what I know. I became a private investigator. And I was lucky to meet some really good attorneys and work on some really good cases.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just me or just talking to him for a couple minutes? You said New York cop.
New York cop.
New York cop, right. So it's been a little bit since we've last seen you.
Right.
You've been busy?
I've been busy. I've been still working cases and writing a couple of books.
Yeah.
So,
any cases you can share a little bit of?
Well, right now I have a murder case in Jacksonville, Florida, where a woman is accused of killing her husband.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty interesting.
That is interesting.
And before that, I've had, all my cases are basically murder cases.
Right.
So, which is good, which is good. I always like to say there's nothing better than a good old-fashioned murder, bloody murder, good old-fashioned bloody murder.
So tell us about your new book.
Well, since the last time I was here, first time I was here was with Two in the Head.
Two in the Head, right.
And that was based on my investigation for the Aaron Hernandez double murder in Boston.
Yeah.
And the second book is Oh Baby, and I was Casey Anthony's investigator. So it's based loosely, you know, on that.
Okay.
And in the book, I have Ricky Burns, who is me, going to Somerset County to interview the cops there, and he gets hooked up with a retired cop who tells him things, because in real life, Casey's father, George, was a retired cop.
Yeah.
Not retired, he did 10 years in some sheriff's department in Ohio.
Right.
But I have to change things around because I have attorney-client stuff, confidentiality. But it's basically my investigation. You know, what I did in the investigation, but I just changed names and I changed location.
All right. So, like Lisa said, tell us about your newest.
The newest one, I'm sorry, I digress. The newest one is Seriously Serial Murders. And it's about a guy who lived in one state, was married, had a girlfriend in another state, visits the girlfriend, and the girlfriend tells him that she wants to start to see other guys. So he kills her.
Oh boy.
I guess him being married.
Well, that's
you know, that doesn't count.
Wow.
But you want to see other people,
Yeah,
that counts.
Ooh.
And but I'll be honest with you, it really wasn't flowing great. You know, I mean, it was a dead loser because it's the only case since 2009 that I've lost, and I'm on the side that's supposed to lose.
Uh-huh.
And so it really wasn't. So I made it into a serial killer. I made it into a serial killer, and there's a lot of twists and turns. There's some humor in it. Ricky is in not a great position at the end of the book, and but I think it's a pretty good book. I really do.
Wow.
Do you find it difficult to adapt true stories into a fictional narrative?
You know, that's why I have a good co-writer. And C.K. Lawrence is really good. She could put it down on paper where I can't. Mm-hmm. And but no, you know, I like telling stories. Mm-hmm. So I could make. I call what we do true fiction, because it can't be true crime, because I have to change things. Mm-hmm. So it's basically fiction, but it's coming from a real case. So it's true fiction.
Gotcha.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so counting Two in the Head, which was your first, and you kind of came talk. You got 4 here. Right. Thinking about a 5th?
Thinking about a 5th. I had a case in the Gainesville area. It was a woman who was a stripper, but she, you know, better than most doctors today, she did house calls. And so she was performing for a guy, and 3 other people came in and killed him. And strange as it was, all the 3 guys that came in, robbed and killed this guy, they were all found guilty. She was found not guilty. Don't ask me how. I really have no idea how. That shocked me too. But I got involved in it because of an appeal. The guy who did the actual killing, he all of a sudden, he works in the law library in the prison, so he begins to know the law, and he realizes, gee whiz, if I entered that house, and I didn't, burglary is when you enter a dwelling or a house with the intent on committing a crime.
Right.
So he changes it. He says she came running out. She was naked. She came running outside and said the guy who was getting robbed was beating up one of my friends. So I went in the house to help my friend. So he's trying to take the intent of committing a crime out. So he went in the house to help his friend who was committing a crime, but then he kills him and leaves in his truck. So you committed a crime.
Oh my goodness.
You know,
You've got some very interesting.
it's good stuff.
How can folks get a copy of your books?
Excuse me?
How can folks get a copy?
Well, it's on Amazon, and it's also now in several bookstores. It's in the Greyhound in Berlin, the Buzz something in Ocean City. There's a bookstore in Bethany Books. And on this Thursday, it's going into Barnes & Nobles in Rehoboth Beach.
Wow.
So,
Congratulations on that.
thank you. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I was surprised. They already had Oh Baby in there, and I didn't even know that. I wonder if they sold any. Nobody told me.
I'm sure
Nobody
they
told me.
did.
I have to investigate that.
Author and private investigator Jerry Lyons, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me. Merry Christmas.
Merry
Yeah.
Christmas
Thank
to
you.
you.